Level 1. The frame. You are 12 years old and your father's camcorder is heavier than you expected. You point it at the backyard. You press record. Nothing happens. By which you mean the backyard continues being a backyard. But through the viewfinder, it is something else. It is a frame, and inside the frame, you decide what exists and what doesn't. You move left, the oak tree disappears. You move right, the oak tree returns. You do this 7 times. You are not playing. You are understanding something. The frame is a choice. Every frame is a choice. You will spend the rest of your life making that choice. You film your sister walking to school. She tells you to stop. You follow her anyway. She walks through a patch of morning light between 2 houses, and something happens. The light does something to the image. It does something to her. She looks like someone in a film, not your sister. Someone. You stop following her. You rewind and watch the moment back. You watch it 4 times. You are 12 years old and you have just discovered the thing that will consume your life and you do not know it yet. You just know you want to watch that moment again. At 15, you make a short film with 3 friends and a borrowed tripod. The story makes no sense. The performances are wooden. The audio is recorded on a phone propped against a lamp. But there is a shot, one shot, where the camera moves at the exact moment a door closes and the timing is right in a way you did not plan. Happy accident, accidental rightness. You watch the shot repeatedly. You think about why it works. This thinking is the education, not film school, not the textbooks. The thinking about why the thing works. You will do this for 30 years. You apply to film school. You get in.
Level 2. The student. Film school teaches you the vocabulary. Before film school, you knew things instinctively. After film school, you know why you knew them. This is more useful than it sounds. Being able to name the thing means being able to discuss it. Being able to discuss it means being able to direct other people toward it. A director who only knows instinct cannot communicate. A director who only knows vocabulary cannot feel. You need both. You arrive with the instinct. Film school gives you the vocabulary. The first assignment is a 2-minute silent film. No dialogue. No sound design. Story told entirely through image. You spend 3 weeks on it, not on the filming. On the thinking before the filming, on the question of what story can only be told in images, what story is diminished by words, what story becomes more true when silence is the only tool. You make a film about a man returning an overdue library book, 22 years overdue. The librarian looks at the date stamp, the man's face. The date stamp again. She stamps it returned. She slides it back to him. He holds it. He walks out. End. No one in the class knows what the book means. Everyone in the class understands what the man is carrying. This is the first time you understand the difference between explanation and implication. Explanation tells the audience what to think. Implication trusts them to think it themselves. Implication is harder. Implication is everything. You make 6 more shorts in film school. Each one teaches you something the previous one couldn't. The 6th one plays at a student film festival. It wins nothing. A woman approaches you afterward. She says she cried at the library shot. She doesn't explain why. You don't ask. You graduate. Level 3. The assistant. Nobody hires a film school graduate to direct. They hire them to assist. You assist. For 3 years, you assist directors whose names you studied in school. You carry things. You schedule things. You communicate things between departments that are not communicating with each other. You are on set at 5 in the morning. You leave at 11 at night. You eat craft services food that has been sitting out since 7. You do all of this without complaint. Not because you are patient,
Because you are watching. Every set teaches you something. Not the textbook version, the real version. The version that happens when the shot the director planned in pre-production encounters the physical reality of the location and the light is wrong, and the actor is having a difficult morning, and there are 40 people waiting for a decision, and the director has 30 seconds to make it. You watch how good directors make those 30-second decisions. You watch how bad directors avoid making them. The avoidance costs everyone around them more than the wrong decision would have. You file this. On the third year, you are second assistant director on a feature film. The lead actress and the director stop communicating by day 4. Not dramatically, they simply stop. The information starts routing through you. She tells you what she needs, you tell the director. The director tells you what he needs, you tell her. You are 26 years old and you are managing the communication between two adults whose collaboration is the center of a $20 million film. You manage it. The film gets made. It is not a good film, but it gets made. Getting made is not nothing. You will understand this more specifically later. Level 4. The first film. You make your first feature at 29. The budget is $320,000. This sounds like money. On a film set, it is the suggestion of money. You have 22 shooting days. Most studio films have 50. You have one camera. You have a crew of 22 people who are all doing 2 jobs. Your cinematographer is also operating the camera. Your production designer is also dressing props. You are directing and producing simultaneously because the actual producer is managing the money from a laptop in a rented apartment 3 blocks from the location. Day 2, you fall behind schedule. By lunch, you are 4 hours behind. 4 hours on a 22-day shoot is not 4 hours. It is a cascading problem that will affect every subsequent day if you don't solve it today. You cut 2 scenes, not because they are bad, because they are good in a way that is not essential. There is a difference between scenes that are good and scenes that the film needs. You cut the good ones. You keep the necessary ones. You get back on schedule. The 2 cut scenes were the most beautifully written scenes in the script. The film is better without them. This is the lesson that film school can describe but not teach. Killing the things you love, not from cruelty, from clarity, about what the film is, about what it needs, about what it would be if you kept everything and lost the shape. The film finishes production. You edit it for 4 months. Not because it needs 4 months, because you cannot stop. Because editing is the second writing, and the second writing reveals everything the first writing missed. The film plays at a small festival. It doesn't win. A producer sees it. He calls you. He says he wants to make a film with you. Level 5. The second film. The second film has a real budget. $4 million. You have never operated at this scale. The difference between 300,000 and 4 million is not proportional. It is categorical. More people, more time, more opinions, more people with the authority to have opinions. The producer has opinions. The financiers have opinions expressed through the producer. The casting director has opinions about the script that are actually the financiers' opinions expressed through the casting director, expressed through the producer. You navigate this. You do not mistake diplomacy for compromise. Diplomacy is how you protect the film inside the system. Compromise is what happens when the system wins. You are diplomatic. You do not compromise. You cast an actor the financiers don't want. You want him because he has the specific quality the character requires. A heaviness behind the eyes that communicates something the script cannot write. You fight for him for 3 weeks. You win. He delivers the best performance in the film. The financiers take partial credit for discovering him. You let them. Letting them costs you nothing. Fighting them would have cost you everything. You shoot for 38 days. Day 19 is the hardest day of your professional life. The scene you planned for 2 weeks does not work. The blocking is wrong. The light is wrong. The performance is technically correct, and emotionally absent. You stop. You send everyone except the actors and the cinematographer off set. You sit on the floor of the location. Your actors sit beside you. You talk about the scene, not about blocking, about what it means, about what the characters are afraid to say, about what would happen if they said it. You talk for 40 minutes. Then you stand up. You rebuild the scene from what the 40 minutes produced. You shoot it in an hour. It is the best scene in the film. The film opens in limited release. It makes its money back. It gets reviewed by publications that matter. One review uses the phrase, assured direction. You read this twice. Then you start developing the third film.
Level 6. The name. You have a name now. Not a famous name, a known name. Known in the specific geography of the film world. Agents know it, producers know it. The kind of actors you could not previously access now return your calls. Not immediately, but they return them. This changes everything about the work. Not the making of it, the access to the people who make it with you. The third film has a real actor, not a movie star, a real actor. The distinction is that a movie star brings an audience. A real actor brings truth. You do not need the audience yet. You need the truth. You shoot for 45 days. Day 30-something happens. Not on set, in the edit. You watch the cut of a scene, and the scene is doing something you did not intend. It is doing something better than what you intended. The actor found something in the rehearsal that you incorporated into the shot design without fully understanding what it was. The edit reveals what it was. It is the emotional center of the entire film. It was not in the script. It was not in your notes. It arrived. You spend 2 weeks reorganizing the edit around it. The new structure is different from the script. The new structure is better than the script. You add a scene, not from the script, from what the actor found. You shoot it on the last day of production with skeleton crew, 8 people and a camera. The scene takes 4 hours. It is the scene that every subsequent review will mention. The film plays at a major festival. It wins an award, not the top award, the jury prize, which means the jury couldn't stop thinking about it, which means more. Level 7. The studio. The studio calls. Not to ask, to offer. The offer is a film with a real budget, $40 million. A script that is not yours. A franchise that already exists. An audience that is already there. You say yes. Not because of the money, because of what $40 million buys. Time. The thing every filmmaker before this level is running out of. $40 million buys enough time to get the shot right. Enough time to let the actor find the thing. Enough time to rebuild the scene on day 30 instead of cutting it because you can't afford the crew overtime. You say yes. The studio system is a collaboration with an entity that has interests that are not always aligned with the film. The studio wants a film that performs. You want a film that is true. These are not mutually exclusive. You spend considerable energy proving they are not mutually exclusive. Some days this is easy. Some days the studio calls, and the call is about the ending. They want a different ending. Not a better ending, a safer one. You screen your ending for a test audience. The test audience rates as lower than the safer ending. You argue that the test audience is rating comfort, not quality. The studio says comfort and quality are not different things. You know they are different things. You keep your ending. The film opens. It performs. Not spectacularly. Well enough that the studio calls again.
Level 8. The vision. You make the film you have been building toward for 15 years. You have been building toward it because you have been collecting, not intentionally. Every film you made was collecting something for this one. The library shot from film school. The 40-minute conversation on the floor of the location. The scene that arrived from the actor. The cut scenes from the first film. Everything taught you something this film requires. The budget is $90 million. The shoot is 70 days. The script is yours, fully yours, written across 8 months. Not written, excavated. You dig it out of 15 years of thinking about what you actually believe, about what a film can do that nothing else can do, about the thing the 12-year-old understood in the backyard with the camcorder. The frame is a choice, and the choice is about what to include, what to trust the audience to feel without being told, what to leave in the dark at the edge of the frame. You shoot the film. Day 41, an actor finds something in a take that changes what the film is about. Not the plot, the subject. You recognize it immediately, the same way you recognized the library shot, the same way you recognized the morning light between 2 houses. You call cut. You look at the cinematographer. He already knows. You rebuild the shot. You shoot it again. The new version is the film. You edit for 6 months. You screen it once before the festival. Alone. No notes. No phone. You watch it the way the audience will watch it. A stranger, encountering it for the first time. Midway through, you forget you made it. That is the goal. When you forget you made it, it belongs to everyone. Level 9. The wait. The film premieres at the largest festival in the world. You sit in the back of the theater, not at the front. You need to see their faces. The audience does not know you are among them. They respond in the places you hoped. They are silent in the places you needed silence to be the response. At the library shot, which you rebuilt and put in this film because you have been putting a version of it in every film for 15 years, a woman in the 4th row reaches for the hand of the person beside her. You watch this. You do not watch the screen. You watch her reach for the hand. The film does its thing on the screen. You witness what it produces in a person. This is the whole job. Not the frame, the response to the frame. Not the choice, what the choice makes someone feel. The film wins. Not an award at the festival, though it wins that too. It wins the thing you cannot name. It wins the woman reaching for the hand. You give an interview where someone asks what the film is about. You say it is about the space between 2 people who cannot say the true thing. They ask why you made it. You say because you needed to understand that space. They ask if you do now. You say no, but you understand it better, which is why you will make another one.
Level 10. The light. You are 53 years old. You have made 11 films. People study them in schools now. Not all 11. 4 of them. The other 7 belong to you more privately. The 7 failures taught you more than the 4 that are studied. Failure in this work is not the opposite of success. Failure is the material. You sit on a jury at a festival. You watch 42 films in 9 days. Most of them are competent. A few are good. One is extraordinary. The extraordinary one is made by a 24-year-old who doesn't know yet that she is extraordinary. You can see it. She cannot. Not fully. She knows something happened. She doesn't know what. You vote for her film. You argue for it in the jury room. You win the argument. You present her with the award. She holds it with both hands. She looks at it the way you looked at the library shot, the way you looked at the morning light between 2 houses. You recognize the look. You developed the look. You developed it before you knew it was developing. You don't say any of this to her. You shake her hand. You tell her the film was extraordinary. She says thank you. She says she doesn't know how she made it. You tell her that is correct. You tell her the not knowing is where the work lives. She nods. She doesn't fully understand yet. She will. You go back to your room. You open the notebook you have been carrying since film school, the current notebook, the 43rd notebook. You write down the image that has been in your head for 3 years. A woman, a train station, a piece of paper she doesn't open. You don't know what the paper says. You don't know what the film is. You know the image is the beginning of something. The beginning is always an image, always a frame,
always a choice about what to include and what to leave in the dark at the edge. You write it down. You close the notebook. Outside your window, the festival city is still going. People are watching films. People are in dark rooms looking at light, feeling things they cannot articulate, reaching for hands. You think about the 12-year-old in the backyard, the camcorder heavier than expected, the oak tree disappearing, the oak tree returning, the understanding arriving. The frame is a choice. It was always the choice. It will always be the choice. You pick up the notebook. You open it again. You add one line beneath the image. You still don't know what the paper says. You need to find out. You begin.